Hello and welcome. I'm Darren. Today we are taking a look at FSR4 again because I'm impressed. AMD are cooking with FSR4. Big improvement, big improvement. And it's deserved that it should be, I don't know, put out there, let's be honest. I have to give props to AMD on this one. So I did a video yesterday in Horizon Forbidden West, and while I was in there I took a little bit of extra footage so that we could go through it. We have, as you can see in the top corner of the screen at the moment, we have DLSS4 at quality. And we're going to check it out, how it compares to FSR4 at quality, and I can tell you it's extremely impressive. So I know there's a lot of people that don't like upscalers. I know there's a lot of people that have kind of got on the upscaler train. I use them and I rely on them. I play at 4K. I like to play with the full eye candy available to me, which is obviously 4K, ultimate settings, ray tracing, path tracing, whatever I can push in, I will push in as long as I'm not taking a visual hit. So obviously for me, then having to use an upscaler, certainly at quality settings, I've found certainly with DLSS4 is a bit of a game changer, but DLSS4 I think is more of a game changer when you're using a more of an aggressive setting. DLSS3 4K quality I never actually found was that bad anyway. If you did get a slight degradation, it was very slight. You'd have to be really looking for things. In your general just playing a game and enjoying a game, I never really noticed anything that stood out to me that was of any concern. The games just always looked good. Now, obviously, with FSR3, that kind of fell apart in certain games. In some it was fine, in some there were just little bits here and there. This game here is an example. FSR3 in this game was probably one of the best FSR3 was. However, if you've watched any of the footage I've done in the past couple of weeks, you'll know that there were still issues, even at 4K FSR quality, where you would have ghosting in the particles. The water, it could not handle translucent water. It would turn it kind of hard to describe. It would make it look a little bit like an oil painting. It would kind of it would lose its translucent look to it, its gloss look to it. It would kind of go a bit oil painting. It was all a bit weird how it obviously didn't cope very well with transparent objects. So yeah, I took a bit of footage yesterday. We're going to quick go through it now because I think it deserves it. I like improvement in I like technology. I like improvement in technology, and I like to give props when something looks good. And FSR4 in the few games I've looked at looks very good, so it deserves it. But what we'll quick look at the moment is, so this is on the 4080. This is running with DLSS4. I've changed the profile in the NVIDIA app over to the transformer model. We'll take a quick look at that. This was how I would have normally played the game. I would have played it on this system for this reason. The water still has this nice translucent kind of reflective quality to it. It just looked a lot better. And you can see obviously particles floating around the screen are fine. You get obviously this strange kind of problem with the screen space reflections, which is in the game. You can see it there over the water. That happens at native. That's nothing to do with the upscaler. That's just the screen space reflections doing what screen space reflections does. RT is going to be needed to fix that. So really nice image, really clean. You can see all details out here, like the trees and stuff, all of these buildings in the back, all of these fine details. Everything's just clean and crisp. And then we've just moved over to FSR4 quality, and you wouldn't have noticed the difference. In your general, just without zooming, pixel peeping, it just looks, to me, just as good. I'm impressed, really impressed. Water still looks glossy, still has this nice translucent look to it. All of these details out in the distance still look clean and crisp. The particles now, there's no ghosting. So, completely fixed. And this is a game changer, because now, as I said in whatever I was playing the other day, I would now not have the issue of having to swap over systems to play this game, because it looks just as good now on the 9070 XT with FSR4 quality, and it actually has, we're going to be fair, it actually has a few extra frames. I think this is a game that generally runs better on AMD. Obviously, it's a PlayStation game that's coming over from a console port. They're built on AMD. Those games tend to have a little bit of an AMD advantage. And yeah, like, awesome. Impressive. I'm impressed with the 9070 XT, and I'm impressed with the 9070 XT because of DLSS4. Sorry, DLSS4. It's on my mind. FSR4. And here's a quick side-by-side. So we will... Not the best pause, not the worst pause. You can kind of have a look there to see what you think. I'm not obviously perfectly lined up, and obviously the character is facing in different directions or whatever it is, but as far as it goes, if we look at kind of any type of details in the distance, details all look clean, all look crisp. This like little hanging thing down here all looks clean, it all looks crisp. I'm just really impressed. I am, and I, like I said, you have to give props to AMD where it's due. They've done obviously a lot of work on this, and they deserve the credit for it, because it's, for me, it's a game changer. And that, I don't know if that will be for other people, but I can only be fair in this instance. And this now no longer puts me in that position where I'm trying to decide what system do I want to play this game on. I could play this game on either and not feel like I'm losing any type of quality by playing it on one or the other. Now, I know obviously this isn't in motion. Something might be slightly different in motion, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think it would be anything that would be that crazy noticeable. The games that I did play yesterday with FSR4 in motion seemed fine. Stuff that gets obviously put into slow motion and then zoomed in isn't really realistic. It's good to know, and it's not information that I don't think isn't worthy, but in real-time gaming, is it a big deal? No, I don't really find. So, you know, I can only be fair. This is impressive stuff from AMD. Very impressive stuff. I didn't think that they would do that good. I love the way that it does that. Useless media player. But, yeah, as you can see, DLSS4 quality, looks nice, looks clean, good image, all nice details in the back. And when we swapped over to FSR4, you just wouldn't have known the difference. You play on either of these and you wouldn't know the difference. It looks really good. I think FSR4 is a slightly sharper image. I did find in the couple of games that I actually played, this game I didn't actually really play, I just ran to this area. I knew this was a good area to do a recording because we had a lot of floating particles and we had a bit of water. And rather than playing ages into the game to find a similar scenario, this was just something that would do. Now, I did play Spider-Man a bit, Spider-Man Remastered, and I did play the first level of Ratchet and Clank yesterday, and I did find in those with FSR4 that I had to turn the sharpness down a little bit. It felt a little bit too sharp. I like a sharp image, but it felt like a little bit too sharp. That is not a problem. I don't know any games that don't really allow you to just turn sharpness up or sharpness down. So I'd probably say maybe in these images, the FSR4 is slightly sharper. If I was playing the game, I might turn it down a little bit because at some point, sometimes in games, when the distant detail becomes too sharp, it begins to look a little bit too two-dimensional and a little bit fake looking image if it's over sharp. That's not a problem. You can tune one of those. You can tune it either way. So if you want to obviously make the DLSS image look a little bit sharper, you can obviously up the sharpness if you like it that way. For me, I kind of just turn it up one or turn it down one, depending on what the game is, to obviously get the image that I want. But as far as it goes, I think, to be fair, I don't think there's a great deal in them. Probably very similar. So, I mean, realistically, if you're playing this game now, where I would know instantly that I'd gone from DLSS to FSR, I wouldn't know now. In a blind test, I'd be completely stuck, and that's where it matters. So, very, very, very impressive stuff. I've kind of had a little good look at the image, looking at all these tiny little image details in like the wood structures and every tiny little detail, and I can't see anything different. Zoomed in the way that obviously they do on Digital Foundry, I'm sure that there probably is some differences. I have no problem with them doing that. It's good information to know. If it really, obviously, you can then decide if it's something that matters to you or not, or if it's something you feel that you're going to notice. But obviously, without zooming in on anything, then all of the fine details that I can see in this image without obviously zooming all look good to me. So props to AMD. FSR4, massive improvement. Really enjoying it. Like I said, there's actually a bit of an advantage here with the 9070 XT in performance, around 2-3 FPS, which is noteworthy. Yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're impressed. Let me know if you just hate upscalers and will only play it native. Each to their own. I'm not going to tell people how to use their hardware or how to play their games, but I am impressed with FSR4. It's a game changer for me. Be interesting to see how much of a game changer it is for other people. Hopefully some people maybe get on board with it a little bit. Maybe some people move over from NVIDIA if they feel comfortable with it. We will see how it comes into other games. I wouldn't want to... I don't know if I'd feel overconfident until I see a little bit more about how they manage to introduce it into new games. If the next few new releases of games come with FSR4 available at launch, I would then be pretty confident that jumping ship over, if this was something that was important to you, could actually be doable, because it's, from what I've seen so far, it's very, very good. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you in the next one.